Invest 93W, almost most certainly a low pressure area here on our Sunday evening, the 30th of November. In the Atlantic Basin, it would be the end of a hurricane season, but in the Western Pacific, it's still very much going on. This area is starting to continue to wrap up just towards the west of Guam. In fact, if we take a look at radar out of Guam, you can kind of see that banding coming in from the southeast towards the west, indicating that inflow towards this storm. We also still have Kota, also known as Verbena, continuing to linger here just off the east coast of Vietnam. Remember, this is all part of that shear line, which more or less it just kind of had this stalled out. We have high pressure area towards north, and it's just continuing to linger here just east. Now, eventually it is going to slowly drift towards the west and increase rainfall for our friends here across the east coast of Vietnam, just towards the south of Da Nang, but they don't need any more rain. I'll tell you that. It's been some severe flooding out here. Same down towards the south across parts of Malaysia, Thailand. The monsoon and the tropical systems associated with it really have been just impacting the area. So it's not just the Philippines. But for the Philippines, let's talk about this area. Located outside the Philippine area of responsibility. So Pagasa is still not warning on it at this time. But you can take a look at the microwave imagery. First off, here's our spin around Kota, and then you see our invest area right here just near Guam. And then the other key thing I want you to notice is the shear line pushing down towards the south, but also we have another shear line almost being able to see set up right there, and that's going to be the catalyst as that pushes towards the south to really drive this system. So if it does develop, it's going to move here southwest of Guam and then kind of smack right into that, and you can kind of see that here with the GFS guidance, and then it pulls it towards the south and west. And when that happens, you're going to get this whole skew of moisture. So it's going to go like this and then pull towards the south and west like that, and you see how the shear line sets up just like that. Northern areas of Luzon actually could stay mostly dry with this because it's going to be a little bit further towards the south and pull all of that moisture towards the south as well. This is the ECMWF. This is the GFS, both showing that landfall around the 5th heading into the 6th, probably as a tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm. Depends on, if the agencies do deem it kind of a little bit more aggressive, but that would be around the Bicol region or Samar by the 4th, 5th, and into the 6th. Now, once again, as I said over and over again, this is going to be a lopsided storm system. So, for example, this is the GFS on the 4th, showing a landfall there around Samar, but you can't just look at the center here because that's really going to be misleading, because look at the cold surge in that northeast monsoon. And, the heaviest of the rain is going to be here probably in the Bicol if this forecast does continue to follow through. But also, gusty winds are going to extend well back towards the north, all the way back here, even over towards Okinawa. Actually, look at the 3rd. You got in the 2nd, you got this big cold surge coming in. And this is going to be windy conditions across a good portion of Japan, Taiwan, northern areas of Luzon by the 2nd and the 3rd, even with this well off towards the east. I almost can guarantee somebody will comment on one of these videos or in my inbox, which is fine. I'd love the questions in the comments, guys. Somebody will comment and say, hey, is this typhoon here yet? Where is it? From parts of Cagayan, maybe the Apari area or Ilocos Norte. And I say that because you are going to get some pretty legit winds out here. I absolutely expect. Let's actually scroll here. I mean, this is showing 60, 70 kph in spots due to the cold surge versus a full-on tropical system, which is just going to smack right into that surge. And you can see that here with the Google DeepMind. See how it spreads out just like that, and then everything drifts towards the south and west. That is that just basically hitting right into that high pressure ridge towards the north. As that comes in, it goes up like that, smacks into it, and then it's going to shift towards the south, riding along the southern edge of that shear line there. So yeah, that's basically what's going on with this. Meanwhile, as I mentioned, you still have Kota lingering here, slowly weakening, and that's the good news. At least when it does come on shore in Vietnam, it's not going to be the biggest of rainmakers. Then back towards the east here, you can see by Wednesday and the Thursday it goes up, and then it shifts back towards the south and west just like that with that shear line set up. So a few things happening here in the Westpac, and you know what? It's a very complex setup. It's not just your, okay, there's a storm here and it's coming towards us and this is when it's going to arrive. That's not this type of setup. It's complex. It's dynamic. That's why we call these dynamic lows, in fact, and dynamic highs. So there's some things going on with it, and I'm going to do my best to continue to keep you posted on it. Plenty happening, though, and I'm sure you may have been just kind of glossed over what everything I just said here, so I understand that. If you have any questions, just let me know. But hopefully your questions are, is it going to rain at my house on this specific time? Because I would say sometime the 3rd, 4th, or 5th, maybe. If you are in Visayas, probably. But hopefully you kind of get a little more details, and these updates do help you. All right. As always, though, thanks for watching. Big shout out to our Patreon members. These are all our Super Typhoon members, absolute legends who continue to support this channel and make these updates possible, because honestly, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. And today's my day off of my normal job, but I'm still here kind of putting these updates out because I know you guys find them useful. So as always, thanks for stopping by, though, of course, and stay safe out there, friends. Have a good day.